Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of TheFadShow. So today is a very exciting day. My MK4 TDI Wagon is about to roll over 250,000 miles, and to celebrate that occurrence, I just thought I would take it for, it has about 50 miles to go. I just thought I would take it on a fun road, take it, go get some coffee, and just talk about how my experience, or how my ownership of the car has gone so far. And then also, when I got this car, I had planned on driving it till the car got to 300,000 miles before I looked for a new daily driver, but my car ADD has set in again, and I'm trying to look for an excuse to start driving some more of my other cars a little bit more often. And then I also found another car just recently that I think is gonna do some daily driver duties for me for a little bit before I find a new adventure. So with that, I think I am actually going to be listing my Jet for sale, and I actually did last night go ahead and list it for sale. So I wanted to make a video and offer it to my viewers also, if any of you guys have been following this car and would like it to go to a good home. So if you do want the car, probably the best way to get in contact with me is sending me a DM on Instagram is probably the easiest way, but also the car is listed on Facebook Marketplace as well. So with that, let's get in the car and we'll take it for a drive on a fun road. We'll go get some coffee, and I'll talk about my experience with this car and my experience with MK4 TDIs just in general. I think a great point in how I appreciate the driving dynamics and just the character of this car is this morning I went to get coffee in my 911, and yes, that car makes me smile as well. The first 10 seconds of getting in this car and driving, it just puts a smile on my face. Whereas the 911, I have to be hardly accelerating or listening to that engine or something to give me a feel. But just the basic character of this car or whatever, just I don't know, there's just something about it that makes me like it so much, and I think that is probably why I've had 3 of them over the years, and these cars are definitely always going to have a special place in my heart. It's pretty much the first car that I really learned to work on cars with were these ones. I mean, yeah, I'd done simple things like oil changes and stuff when I was a kid with my dad, but it was really in college with a canvas bag full of tools in a dirt parking lot, working on one of these TDIs. That was just where I started, just learning how to do basic maintenance yourself. So I always have a special place in my heart for that, and it's definitely a car that's if you're trying to get into that, or if you just want a cheap car that you can maintain yourself, these are pretty easy. I mean, they're pretty simple cars. There's a million how-to videos out there, and how-to guides, and parts are really cheap for them too. I don't know what it is about these cars that I just love the way they drive. It just has that hydraulic power steering, and this awesome shifter feel, and the sound of the turbo and the torque. I don't know, I just have always really liked the way these cars drive, even though they come stock with 90 horsepower or whatever. They still always put a smile on my face. I also just love the old style diesel engines with mechanical injection pump and the super loud knocky engines, because it just reminds me of growing up as a kid. My dad always had a diesel truck, and I don't know, just the cold starts in the main winter, whenever it gets cold here in Texas, and I sometimes forget to use the glow plugs when I start the car up, and it struggles to start, and then you get a bunch of puff smoke and whatever that's just like smell just like reminds me of like being a kid and my dad starting his truck up when it was below zero outside, and it would start on about one cylinder and then finally warm up and you'd hear more and more cylinders come online. But I don't know, these cars just kind of remind me of my childhood just because of that. I also have like so many adventures in these cars and road trips, which is usually why I end up buying these, because I either have a long commute or I'm driving back and forth. I used to like live in upstate New York, and I would go back to Maine, see my family all the time, and just like the fun drives across Vermont, New Hampshire, or just cruising on the highway on the Mass Pike, and just being able to go there and back all in one tank of fuel. And then ski trips in Vermont in the middle of the winter, with all-season tires, getting stuck in the snow, spinning your tires, but having fun on the twisty mountain roads, fuel filters freezing, and having to find a station with kerosene in order to clean out your fuel filter and keep on going. So as much as I've loved these cars over the years, I guess I've decided just to sell the car. I don't know, I keep like having second thoughts about it. I just obviously have a lot of cars right now, and I kind of feel bad that I don't drive pretty much any of them. I drive this car 90 to 95% of the time, and the other cars I drive maybe like once a week just for like one trip or whatever, where this one I take everywhere, and I just kind of feel bad for them. Like, I don't want to be the person that's like precious about my cars, and I feel like the 911, I always justify not driving it because where am I going to park? What if I get a rock chip? What if I get a door ding or something like that? And then, I don't know, I don't want to be that way with my cars. Like, I actually want to drive and enjoy them. I mean, it's a base Carrera 997 that has, 60,000 miles on it now. Like, it's never going to be worth, I mean, it's not going to lose value, but it's not like it's going to be a museum piece someday. I'd rather just drive it and enjoy it and drive my All-Trek, because that car is a lot more comfortable than this one. It's kind of nice having the modern features. But I feel like I'll never do that unless I sell this car, because I like driving these so much, and it's so much more cost effective to drive this. So I think that's kind of why I'm selling it. But I'm definitely not going to give the car away either. I have a price in mind that I want to sell it for, and that's what the car is worth for me. So my Mark IV wagon now has 250,000 miles on it. It has traveled 11,000 miles further than the distance of the moon from the Earth, and it still drives like a brand new car. There's one, well, I shouldn't say there's not a rattle, because yeah, there's plastic, cheap VW plastic interior, rattles a little bit, but there's no knocks, no squeaks, nothing. It just runs like I imagine it did when it was brand new. But with that, I have severe car ADD, and I'm bored, and I'm ready for a new daily. I would say I'm really bored. I mean, every time I get in this car after not driving it for a while, it puts a smile on my face. But I just want to have a new experience and have a new daily driver that hopefully I can build a bond with, like I did this car. And since I'm not Jay Leno and I don't have unlimited funds and unlimited storage, it's kind of just not really cost effective / smart for me to just hold onto this car just for the occasional drive, once in a while, put a smile on your face, because I wish I had the ability to do that, but I don't. So with that, my Mark IV wagon is now for sale, and I'm asking $6,500 for it, which kind of broke the internet yesterday when I listed it to the TDI buy, swap, and sell in Facebook Marketplace. There's a lot of people that laughed at it, I guess, and then some people said that it was worth it and I'll get my money out of it. So I have no idea. There was actually one that went up for sale today and kind of broke the internet even further, and there's even more contention and debate about what these things are worth. I don't know. I just follow basic economics, supply and demand, and what is the price of something. It's worth what one person is willing to let it go for and what one person is willing to acquire it for. And for me, that's about $6,500. Doesn't really cost that much to insure this. Texas registration is cheap. So yeah, I mean, at that, if I could get that money out of it, then I would invest it towards a new experience. But if not, then I'll keep this and keep enjoying the experience that it gives me, because that's the price of what it's worth to me. So with that, it was definitely a special day. I'm happy that I could get this thing over 250,000 miles, and I'm happy that I can maintain it so it feels like it's fully functional at that mileage. And yeah, this car definitely feels like it has a lot of life into it. Like, I've had some high mileage rugged cars that felt like they were on their last leg. You kind of get a feeling in like an old broken down car, like how much life it has left in it. But this one, I don't get that feeling at all. Like, obviously I had enough confidence in it to drive it all the way to Maine this summer, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. So it's kind of a bittersweet day. Like, yeah, I'm excited about maybe having a new experience, a new daily driver, but I'm also kind of sad because I do really like this car. But with that, if you're interested in the car, I think, like I said in the intro, probably the best way to get a hold of me is to DM me on my Instagram, which is in the description, and I'm pretty sure I put it on like the intro card, and or try and find the listing on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know, I might end up listing it somewhere else eventually, but so far I've actually had quite a bit of interest in just 24 hours. I mean, I say there's a lot of interest. I've had a lot of questions, but until someone shows up with cash in hand, I don't know. So with that, I hope you guys like this episode, and as always, if you really liked it, then go ahead and like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. Maybe not more content on this car, but I have another car to introduce to you. I have two cars still. I've been doing a bunch of maintenance on my 911 that I bought for my 30th birthday present for myself, which I was planning on doing a big release or whatever about that car, and I've just been, whatever, timing hasn't worked out. I haven't got around to doing that. Just been doing the maintenance videos on it, but eventually I'll do a video on that car. And then I have another one that I just bought for a daily driver. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you like this episode.